Your biggest power in life is not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond. The world will test you, people will provoke you, but only you decide what gets access to your peace. The moment you stop reacting to everything around you, you become stronger than everything around you. Today I'm going to show you how to become emotionally untouchable, so nothing and no one can break you again. You control your emotions, not the world, not people, not circumstances. Most people go through life believing the opposite. They think their emotions are automatic, triggered by whatever happens around them. Someone disrespects them, so they get angry. Someone ignores them, so they feel hurt. Someone disappoints them, so they break down. They think emotions are things that just happen, like rain or wind, completely out of their control. But the truth is far deeper. Emotions don't come from events, they come from the meaning you attach to those events. Two people can experience the exact same situation and walk away with completely different emotional reactions, and the only difference is the mindset they bring into the moment. When you truly understand that your emotions belong to you and only you, everything changes. You stop being a puppet pulled by strings of other people's behavior. You stop allowing the world to dictate your inner climate. You stop reacting to every small inconvenience, every rude tone, every unexpected challenge. Instead, you step into a level of power that most people never experience. You become the one who chooses what deserves your attention, what deserves your anger, and what doesn't deserve anything at all. Think about how often you've felt controlled by someone else's mood. Someone comes home angry and suddenly you're upset. Someone criticizes you and suddenly you're doubting yourself. Someone cuts you off in traffic and your whole morning is ruined. But ask yourself, did that person actually reach inside your mind and press a button? Or did you hand them that power? Because that's what most people do. They give strangers, situations, and circumstances the authority to decide how they feel. They hand over emotional control without even realizing it. The moment you decide, my emotions are mine, life starts changing. Suddenly, someone's rude tone doesn't shake you. A bad day doesn't break you. Delays, failures, misunderstandings, they stop controlling your happiness. You begin to recognize that every reaction is a choice, even the ones that feel automatic. Your mind might produce an emotional impulse, but you choose whether to amplify it or let it go. You choose whether to feed the fire or walk away from the smoke. Controlling your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them or pretending nothing bothers you. It means understanding that you determine your response. It means becoming aware of the gap between stimulus and reaction. That tiny moment where you get to decide who you're going to be. In that gap lies your power. In that gap lies your peace. And the more you practice self-control, the stronger you become. The first time you choose not to react, it feels difficult. The second time, it feels empowering. The third time, it feels natural. Over time, you build emotional muscles the same way you build physical ones, through repetition, through awareness, through intentional choices. You start recognizing patterns. What triggers you, what drains you, what pulls you into negativity, and instead of falling into the trap every time, you rise above it. Imagine living a life where nothing external can shake you. Imagine staying calm in situations where you once exploded. Imagine responding with clarity instead of anger, with confidence instead of fear, with peace instead of panic. That is emotional mastery. That is what separates the strong from the weak, the grounded from the reactive, the leaders from the followers. Life will never stop being unpredictable. People will never stop being imperfect. Circumstances will never stop shifting. But when you control your emotions, you stop being controlled by everything else. And when you reach that level of freedom, you don't just survive life, you rise above it. You move with power. You move with intention. You move with discipline. And no matter what comes your way, you stay unshaken. Silence, restraint, and non-reaction are your highest forms of power. Most people believe power is loud. They think strength is about arguing back, proving a point, or making sure everyone hears their side of the story. They think reacting fast, speaking first, and defending every word makes them strong. But real power doesn't operate like that. Real power is calm. It's controlled. It's strategic. It shows up in silence, not noise. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who talk the most. They are the ones who can hold their tongue when everyone else is losing theirs. Silence is not weakness. It is not submission. It is a deliberate choice to rise above chaos instead of drowning in it. When you stay silent in a moment where others expect you to explode, you completely shift the balance of power. You become unpredictable. You remove the fuel from the fire. You refuse to give your energy to someone who doesn't deserve it. And that frustrates people who live off drama, conflict, and emotional reactions. They want a reaction because your reaction gives them power. When you refuse to react, you take that power back instantly. Restraint is another form of strength that most people never develop. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can get angry. Anyone can say the first thing that comes to mind. That's easy. But to stay steady when someone is trying to provoke you, to breathe instead of explode, to walk away instead of engaging in pointless arguments, that requires discipline. It requires emotional maturity. It requires self-control at a level most people never learn. But once you master restraint, you start to understand how much unnecessary suffering you avoided throughout your life simply by choosing not to react. Non-reaction is not ignorance, it's intelligence. It means you understand that not every provocation deserves your time. Not every insult deserves your emotions. Not every situation deserves your presence. When someone tries to drag you into drama and you don't respond, you are not being passive. You are protecting your mental peace. You are choosing not to get dirty in battles that gain you nothing. You are prioritizing your inner stability over someone else's desire for chaos. There is incredible power in choosing silence when you could easily choose chaos. There is power in walking away when someone expects you to fight. There is power in maintaining your composure when someone tries to shake you. People who rely on emotional manipulation, arguments, and conflict lose all control when they cannot get a reaction from you. They don't know what you are thinking, what you will do next, or whether they affected you at all, and that uncertainty is where your strength lives. Silence forces the other person to face themselves. They are left with their own words, their own behavior, their own insecurities. When you don't feed them with emotional responses, they are forced to confront the emptiness of their actions. Silence becomes a mirror that exposes people more than any argument ever could. And in silence, you gain clarity. You think more clearly. You see the bigger picture. You avoid saying things you would regret. You respond with wisdom instead of impulse. Silence protects your dignity. It protects your reputation. It protects your peace. A moment of silence can save you from hours of conflict, days of stress, and weeks of emotional recovery. As you grow in life, you will realize that the loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. The strongest is the one who doesn't need validation, doesn't need to prove anything, and doesn't need to win every argument. They know that real victory is maintaining their peace, not winning petty battles. The more you practice silence, restraint, and non-reaction, the more powerful you become. You become someone who cannot be controlled, manipulated, or provoked easily. You move from emotional reactivity to emotional mastery. You begin to operate on a higher frequency, one where negativity cannot reach you. And the world treats people differently when they carry this kind of power. You earn respect not by speaking, but by choosing when not to speak. You earn admiration not by arguing, but by staying grounded. You earn peace not by controlling others, but by controlling yourself. Silence, restraint, and non-reaction are your armor. They are your greatest tools for peace, your greatest expressions of strength. And when you learn to use them, you become untouchable. You protect your peace by choosing what deserves your energy and what doesn't. One of the greatest lessons you will ever learn in life is that not everything requires your attention. Not every situation demands your reaction. And not every person deserves access to your mental space. Yet most people live as if their energy is unlimited. They let anyone walk into their mind, dump their negativity, and leave them emotionally drained. They fight battles that don't matter, argue with people who don't care, and spend time on things that bring no growth. Peace isn't taken from you. You give it away by investing your energy in the wrong places. True peace comes from knowing where to pour your energy and where to hold it back. Your energy is one of your most valuable resources. It determines your mood, your clarity, your productivity, and the quality of your life. When you waste it on things that don't matter, you weaken yourself for the things that do. The problem is not that people try to steal your peace. The problem is that you do not always recognize what deserves to enter your life and what needs to be shut out. Protecting your peace means becoming selective, not cold, not distant, but intentional. You start looking at situations and asking yourself, does this add value or drain me? Does this bring clarity or chaos? Does this help me grow or does it hold me back? When you begin to evaluate your life this way, everything changes. You stop responding to every negative comment because you understand that not all voices deserve a reply. You stop entertaining drama because you recognize that chaos wants attention, not resolution. You stop overthinking interactions that don't shape your future. You stop carrying emotional burdens that were never yours to carry. You learn to walk away from situations that disturb your spirit, not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to protect your inner world. There will always be people who test your peace. Some will do it intentionally, trying to provoke you, trying to drag you into their storm. Others will do it unconsciously, projecting their pain, stress, and insecurities onto you. But at the end of the day, it's your choice whether to absorb their negativity or let it pass through you. Protecting your peace means refusing to be an emotional sponge. You can care about people without carrying their weight. You can understand someone's struggles without letting their chaos become your chaos. You can empathize without absorbing. Your environment plays a massive role in your peace. The people you surround yourself with either feed your soul or drain it. Some people inspire, uplift, and push you forward. These people deserve your energy. Others complain, gossip, and bring constant negativity. These people do not. It's not about judging them, it's about protecting your mental health. You cannot grow in a toxic environment. You cannot think clearly when surrounded by noise. You cannot elevate if you keep company with those committed to staying stuck. So you choose wisely. You distance yourself from what drains you. You gravitate toward what strengthens you. Protecting your peace also means setting boundaries. It means saying no to things that disrupt your mental balance, even when saying yes would be easier. It means prioritizing your emotional needs without feeling guilty. It means recognizing that you are responsible for your peace, not anyone else. If you don't defend your peace, no one will. People will take as much of your energy, time, and attention as you allow. You teach others how to treat you based on what you tolerate. At times, the biggest threat to your peace is not other people, but your own habits. Overthinking, rushing, comparing, worrying about others' opinions. These patterns drain your energy faster than anything else. To protect your peace, you must confront these tendencies. You remind yourself that not everything requires a reaction. Not every thought deserves belief, and not every worry is real. You train your mind to stay grounded, to focus on what matters, and to let go of the things that don't. When you choose what deserves your energy, you choose the quality of your life. You stop being available for chaos. You stop being accessible to negativity. You stop being overwhelmed by noise. You enter a state of clarity, calm, and control. And once you feel that level of peace, you will never again waste your energy on anything that disturbs it, because you realize peace isn't something you find, it's something you protect. And you protect it by choosing wisely, intentionally, and courageously every single day. Detachment from negativity makes you untouchable. Most people don't realize how much control negativity has over their life because they have spent years absorbing every emotion, every insult, every disappointment, every bit of drama that crosses their path. They carry burdens that are not theirs, internalize problems they didn't create, and give energy to situations that don't deserve a second of their time. They react instantly, absorb deeply, and allow negativity to sink into their mind like a stain. But the moment you learn to detach, truly detach from negativity, everything changes. You stop giving power to things that don't deserve it. You stop letting the moods of others dictate your day. You stop letting external chaos determine your internal peace. You become emotionally invincible. Detachment is not coldness. It's not apathy. It's not being heartless or uncaring. Detachment is awareness. It is the ability to see negativity for what it is without letting it become part of you. It means you can observe someone's anger without absorbing it, witness someone's bitterness without allowing it to cling to your spirit, and experience conflict without letting it poison your peace. It is choosing to remain calm in situations that once shook you. It is refusing to let temporary emotions create permanent damage. Negativity is everywhere, in people, in environments, in conversations, in social media, in the world around you. You cannot stop negativity from existing, but you can stop it from entering your life. You can stop it from living in your mind. You can choose not to let it define your emotional state. When you practice detachment, negativity loses its power. It cannot reach you because you no longer invite it in. Most negativity people throw at you isn't even about you. Hurt people project their pain. Angry people project their frustration. Insecure people project their fears. But the problem begins when you take their projection personally. When you start carrying their emotional baggage as if it belongs to you. Detachment is the moment you realize, this is not mine. Someone else's fear is not your responsibility. Someone else's bitterness is not your burden. Someone else's anger is not your emotional assignment. You can understand the source without allowing it to stain your soul. When you detach from negativity, you gain clarity. You stop reacting blindly. You stop fueling conflicts. You stop wasting energy fighting battles that don't matter. You protect your mental space as if it were sacred, because it is. Your peace becomes your shield. Your awareness becomes your armor. The more detached you become, the less anything can shake you. Insults flow past you. Disrespect doesn't touch you. Drama passes right through you. You move differently because you think differently. Detachment also means letting go of the need to control everything. You stop trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed, convince people who don't want to understand, or win arguments that lead nowhere. You stop allowing your peace to depend on other people's behavior. Instead, you anchor your peace within yourself. You give up the illusion that you can change every situation or every person. You focus only on what you can control, your response, your mindset, your energy. The power of detachment becomes most obvious when people try to provoke you. They expect a reaction. They want a reaction. They feed on a reaction. But when you don't react, when you stay calm, when you stay neutral, when you stay unbothered, they lose all control. They don't know what to do. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know whether they reached you. And that uncertainty destroys their influence over your emotional state. This is why detached people are so powerful. They cannot be manipulated emotionally. Detachment is freedom. Freedom from internalizing pain. Freedom from draining your energy on things that don't matter. Freedom from the emotional roller coaster created by other people's chaos. Once you detach from negativity, you begin to see life differently. You become more grounded, more peaceful, more in control. You operate from a place of strength instead of reaction. You move through the world lightly without carrying unnecessary weight. And that makes you untouchable. Not because life stops challenging you, but because you no longer let life control you. Your focus and discipline decide your future, not people's behavior. Too many people let their entire life be shaped by what others do, say, think, or fail to give them. They lose motivation because someone discouraged them. They stop trying because someone doubted them. They slow down because someone didn't support them. They let outside noise dictate their path, forgetting that success has never depended on the opinions of others, only on the consistency of the person pursuing it. The truth is simple. The world will always have distractions, doubters, negativity, and people who don't see what you see. But none of that determines where you end up. What determines your future is how focused you remain and how disciplined you choose to be, even when everything around you tries to pull you off track. Focus is a rare skill in a world full of noise. You're constantly surrounded by people telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what you're capable of, and what they think will work for you. But their voices mean nothing unless you give them weight. Your vision was given to you, not to them. Your dreams were placed in your heart, not theirs. So why let their behavior or their limitations decide what you can achieve? Focus means locking in on your path so deeply that outside opinions no longer shake your belief. It means keeping your eyes on where you're going, not on who doubts you along the way. Discipline is what turns focus into results. Anyone can be inspired for a day. Anyone can make a plan, set a goal, or dream about a better life. But disciplined people do the work even on the days they don't want to. They show up when they're tired, when they're stressed, when the world is loud, when others are quitting. Discipline means choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. It means saying no when distractions look tempting. It means sticking to the process even when results are slow. Discipline is not about feeling motivated. It's about being committed regardless of how you feel. People's behavior will disappoint you. Someone will let you down. Someone will mock your dreams. Someone will doubt your potential. Someone will misjudge you, misunderstand you, or push you away. That's human nature. But if you build your future on their behavior, your life becomes unstable. One insult throws you off. One disagreement stops your progress. One unsupportive person weakens your confidence. But when you build your future on discipline, on your habits, your consistency, your inner strength, nothing they do can stop you. Their actions lose power. Their opinions become irrelevant. Their doubt becomes meaningless. Your greatest breakthroughs will not come from people believing in you. They will come from you believing in yourself. enough to keep going when no one else sees your vision. Focus turns your goals into a priority. Discipline turns your goals into reality. When you stay committed long enough, people who once doubted you will eventually ask how you did it. Success is the loudest explanation, and discipline is the path that gets you there. Think about it. Every successful person you admire had to face people who didn't understand them. They had distractions, critics, setbacks, and moments where quitting was easier. But they kept going because they understood that the world doesn't decide your destiny. Your choices do. Your habits do. Your consistency does. Your courage does. Their behavior does not build your future. Your discipline does. Life becomes powerful when you stop reacting to people and start responding to your purpose. When you stop chasing approval and start chasing mastery. When you stop worrying about what others are doing and start focusing on what you must do. Because the truth is this, your life will rise the moment your discipline rises. Your success will begin the moment your focus becomes stronger than your distractions. And your future will transform the moment you decide that no one's behavior, no negativity, no doubt, no disrespect, will ever be stronger than your commitment to your own growth. You rise above petty battles by guarding your mindset, your environment, and your purpose. Most people don't struggle because life is too hard. They struggle because they waste their energy on things that don't matter. They get pulled into arguments that lead nowhere. They entertain drama that steals their focus. They hold on to comments that should been ignored, and they react to people who don't even deserve eye contact. They fight small battles while their real goals sit untouched. But the moment you learn to guard your mindset, truly guard it, you stop lowering yourself to meet negativity. You stop surrendering your energy to situations beneath your growth. You start rising above what once pulled you down. Your mindset is the filter through which you interpret the world. If your mind is filled with insecurity, fear, or distraction, even the smallest challenge will feel overwhelming. But if your mind is strong, disciplined, and clear, even the biggest challenges can't shake you. Guarding your mindset means refusing to let negativity, gossip, or other people's opinions take root in your mind. You become careful about what you think, what you believe, and what you internalize. You remind yourself daily that not every battle deserves to be fought, and not every voice deserves a response. You train your mind to focus on what matters and let go of what doesn't. Your environment shapes you just as much as your mindset. Even the strongest mindset can be weakened if surrounded by toxic energy. If you spend your time around people who argue, complain, gossip, and live in chaos, you will eventually start thinking and acting like them. Energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. Habits are contagious. That's why guarding your environment is not optional. It is essential. You learn to distance yourself from people who disturb your peace. You learn to be selective about who has access to your time and attention. You learn to choose environments that feed your growth instead of poisoning your spirit. You understand that you cannot plant yourself in toxic soil and expect to bloom. Guarding your purpose means staying committed to your path, even when the world tries to distract you. Every petty battle steals time from your goals. Every unnecessary argument steals clarity from your vision. Every emotional reaction steals discipline from your progress. When you know your purpose deeply, you stop chasing validation. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand. You stop letting distractions pull you away from your calling. You start making decisions based on where you're going, not what others are doing. Purpose becomes your compass, and noise becomes irrelevant. The truth is, petty battles are traps designed to drain your energy, consume your mind, and keep you small. They may feel justified in the moment, but once the moment passes, you realize they gained you nothing. They didn't move you forward. They didn't strengthen you. They didn't improve your life. Only stole from you your time, your peace, your clarity. When you rise above these battles, you reclaim everything you used to lose so easily. You reclaim your calm. You reclaim your focus. You reclaim your power. Rising above doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. It means you understand that not every conflict is worth your presence. It means you refuse to let the world drag you into chaos. It means you are emotionally mature enough to walk away, mentally strong enough to stay calm, and spiritually grounded enough to protect your peace. You no longer react to noise. You rise above it. You no longer chase distractions. You guard your purpose. You no longer fight meaningless fights. You invest your energy where it truly matters. When you guard your mindset, your environment, and your purpose, You become someone who cannot be shaken by small things. You become someone who moves with intention. You become someone who values peace more than ego and growth more than drama. And as you rise above petty battles, you level up in every area of your life. You become stronger. You become calmer. You become wiser. You become unstoppable. Everything comes back to one truth. You are the one in control, not the world, not people, not circumstances, you. Your emotions, your reactions, your peace, your direction, your destiny. All of it begins with the choices you make inside your own mind. When you stop absorbing negativity, when you stop reacting to small things, when you stop handing out pieces of your energy to people who haven't earned them, you step into a version of yourself that is unshakable. You rise above the noise that once distracted you. You stop fighting battles that don't matter. You begin to move with intention, with clarity, with strength. Because the truth is, no one can steal your peace unless you let them. No one can drain your power unless you give it away. No one can pull you off your path unless you choose to follow them. But when you guard your mindset like treasure, when you protect your environment like a fortress, when you stay loyal to your purpose no matter what comes your way, you become a different kind of person, the kind who cannot be manipulated, the kind who cannot be provoked, the kind who cannot be broken. You become someone who leads their life instead of reacting to it, someone who responds with wisdom instead of emotion, someone who chooses focus over distraction, purpose over pettiness, peace over chaos. And that is where true power lives. So walk forward from today with a new awareness. Your mind is your kingdom. Your peace is your weapon. Your discipline is your armor. Choose what you allow inside. Release what doesn't serve you. Protect the energy that keeps you growing. And no matter what the world throws at you, stand firm in who you are. Because when you master yourself, you become unstoppable. When you control your emotions, nothing controls you. And when you rise above the battles that once consumed you, you step into a life of strength, clarity, and unshakable peace. This is your power. This is your freedom. And this is the version of you the world cannot break.